I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video what it's going to be about, but let me introduce myself. My name is Andrea. I was addicted to porn on and off for about 10 years total. I was exposed to it when I was 11 years old, and I watched it for the last time when I was 21 years old. I went through a series of falling back into it over and over again, and then running and hiding from the Lord whenever it would happen because I felt like I was too dirty. I went up to a million different altar calls trying to give it up, and it never worked. Nothing ever stuck. So these are the things that I wish somebody would have told me about it, with it being a journey of healing rather than a journey of freedom. The first step on how to give up porn is to just tell somebody. If something is in the dark and light is on it, it's not dark anymore. Something that my pastor said was, restoration begins with the words of your testimony. The only way that I was able to give this up in a way that it stuck was to tell people. When I said tell people, I literally had a mic in my hand in front of my entire church and said, I've been addicted to porn for 10 years. You may not feel called to tell your entire congregation that you've been addicted to porn, but for me, that's the only thing that stuck with me. Get an accountability partner. Get covenant eyes. Do whatever you need to do so that you're not holding on to this weight all by yourself. The word tells us that our brothers and sisters are supposed to raise us up and share the burdens with us. So do that. If you need somebody to tell you a dirty little secret to, this is not the time to listen to that voice that's telling you that you're too dirty, or that people are going to judge you, or that girls don't do this, Christians don't do this. We are people and we do this. We did this for a long time. The second step in this process is to recognize that this is not your fight. This is not up to you to win this battle. Last time I checked, and maybe I'm wrong, you are not Jesus. You're not the one who lived a perfect life and then died on the cross so that we could all live. This is not your fight. This is not your battle. You were never meant to fight this. The word says to be still and let the Lord fight the battles for you. So this is what I want you to do if you are struggling with this. Every single day, I want you to pray this prayer. Lord, don't let me fall. Whenever I want my flesh more than I want you, I want you to come to me. And I don't want you to come to me in a still small voice. I want you to come to me loudly. The word says that there is no temptation that is not common to man, but the Lord will come to you in those moments and he will open a door so that you have a way out. I would pray, Lord, I don't want the door to be tiny. I need the door to be massive, okay? I need the door to be huge, and I don't need you to come in a still small voice. I need you to say, Andrea! You were not created for this. You were created for more. And he did that. But I had to ask him to. I had to invite him into the battle with me. The third step is to remove any triggers. And the number one trigger for me was boredom. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So what I would do is I would schedule something for myself every single day of the week. I wouldn't let myself be home. And I would tell people, I promise I'm coming, so that they would hold me accountable and trust that I was coming. When I tell you I was at church Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, I was at church on a Saturday night, I was doing anything I could. And it didn't have to be church, but I needed to be somewhere where I knew that the things that I wanted to do was not okay there. I had to be in a setting where I knew that I would be held accountable. I deleted all social media. Whenever you're stuck in a cycle of doom scrolling, you can't anticipate what you're going to see next. You can't anticipate that the next thing that you view might be a trigger for you and might create a cycle of sin that lasts months or even years. There's no way for you to know that. So why would you take that chance? I deleted TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube. I couldn't have anything. I couldn't put myself in a potential position where I would fail. I stopped watching certain shows. I stopped watching certain movies. I stopped listening to certain types of music. Anything that I could do, I removed it from my life. I got on my phone, and there's a setting in screen time where you can block certain websites. You can block adult content. There are a million things that you can do to prevent yourself from going there. Speaking of preventative measures, I took note cards and I wrote encouraging scriptures on them, and I taped them all over my house, all over my walls. So whenever I would go to areas where I was familiar with sinning in that area, I could not look around and see a note of encouragement from the version of me that wanted God more than I wanted my flesh. The fourth and final step that I would give to anybody who's trying to fight this is to give yourself grace. We are made of flesh. If we fall, then it's because we are human. It's not because you don't love the Lord. If you're watching this right now struggling with porn addiction, Just the fact that you were still struggling and you were still going and you were seeking help shows that you love the Lord. You want Him. So let this be a word of encouragement. Give yourself grace. Do not run and hide from the Father if you slip. Do not cover yourself up in shame and self-condemnation if you do fall. Go to Him. He wants to take it off of you. We were not created to live in shame. We were not created to live in self-condemnation. That is a lie from the enemy. Hear the word of God. He calls you chosen. He calls you forgiven. He calls you accepted. He tells you to come just as you are. He calls you worthy. He calls you enough. There are a million things that I could go through of what the Lord calls you. And none of those things are not enough. None of those things tell you that you should run and hide from your Father. You were created in the image of God. You were beautifully and wonderfully made. And you are so dearly loved. That is all I have. This is very outside of my comfort zone for me, so I really hope that this benefited somebody. If y'all need any prayer, if you need any assistance, if you need anybody to tell your little dirty secret to, I am here, but that's all I have. So I hope that y'all have a wonderful day and y'all are able to overcome pornography in the same way that I have. Bye!